Alright, this is going to be our third video on Access 2013 about tables. Alright, and today I got just a short PowerPoint presentation, then we're going to jump into the demonstration. And we're going to look at database relationships. And not only does this pertain to Access, but it also pertains to really any other type of relational database management software that you have, such as SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, or MySQL for the purists, sorry. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at what is a relationship. Well, when we're talking about database relationships, we're talking about joining tables via a common field. Alright, so in the demo, we're going to join our customers table to our orders table via a common field, and we're going to look at that when we do the demo. We're usually talking about a primary key to a foreign key relationship. Now, we know what a primary key is from our previous videos on building tables, but we haven't talked about what a foreign key is yet, and we'll talk about that in the demo because I want you guys to see it. It can be from primary key to primary key, so we can join tables from primary key to primary key. We don't have to use a primary key to any other key, but it gets kind of messy. So we just want to keep things primary key to foreign key or primary key to primary key. Types of relationships that we have is a one-to-one relationship. Okay, where one record in one table is related to just one record in another table. And we can come up with a reason for this, right? One soldier is issued one rifle. Alright? It's not like a soldier has 15 rifles sitting in the armory that are, assigned to him. He has one rifle. So the serial number to that rifle corresponds to the, serial number of the soldier. This type of relationship is also used to separate sensitive data. For instance, if I have social security numbers or maybe medical data or something like that, I can separate my demographics information from my medical information via a common field. Another type of relationship we have is a one-to-many. Alright, where one record in a table is related to many records in another table. Okay? One customer can have no orders, one orders, or many orders. Alright, we want our customers to order from us as much as they want. So a one-to-one relationship wouldn't work, right? Because otherwise, a customer could just order from us one time and one time only, and we really don't want that. Okay? This is the most used relationship type because it fits most scenarios that we're going to look at. The third and final type of relationship that we are going to look at is going to be a many-to-many relationship. And this is where many records in one table are related to many records in another table. And you can kind of see, if you mold this in your head for a minute or two, you can kind of see that, this really doesn't work all that well. For example, many people can be involved in many projects. I'm sure those of you that are in the working world know that you can be involved in many projects at the same time. Especially like project managers, systems analysts, things like that can have many projects going on at once. Alright, do not use this type of relationship. Do not use a many-to-many type of relationship because it just makes things real murky and it will cause technical problems in your database as well, not to mention getting bad or erroneous data. But there is a better solution. Right now, what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to think for a minute about what type of relationship do we want for our customers and orders. Alright, and if you want to pause the video and think about it for a second, and then resume playing the video, we are going to go to the demo next. Alright, and I'm in the relationships area of my database, and I'm going to close out of this real quick to show you how I got there. No, I don't want to save the layout. Thank you very much. There we go. And if you remember from the last couple of videos we have our customers table and our orders table. And the way I got to the relationships data is I'm going to go to the Create tab in my Affluent ribbon. Nope, it's not there. I'm going to go to Database Tools. Relationships right there. It gives us a nice big icon. This is relationships. So I'm going to click this. And then what it's going to do is it comes up with a window with a list of our tables. We haven't touched queries yet, but if you do have any queries in your database, there they are. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to add both of these here. I'm going to add this table. And I'm going to add my orders table. And I'm going to kind of readjust things in the window here. Click close. Go. Now, what we're going to do is, let me readjust some things here. The batteries are dying in my mouse or something, I don't know. You can expand these windows here because for some reason Access likes to give you something the size of a postage stamp. Go. I might expand this one just a tad bit too. There we go. And we can see a list of fields we have. We see our little key next to our primary key field. Does your primary key field have to be the first field in your table? No, it does not. Can you have more than one primary key field? Yes, you can. But for most tables, we're just going to have one. All right. Now, I need a way to relate these two tables. Right? And remember how we said it was via common field, primary key, and foreign key? Well, I want to relate my tables. It's going to be a one-to-many relationship, so one customer can have many orders, right? But I don't have a common field to join them by yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close out of this. All right, I'm going to save this, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the foreign key to my orders table. Right? You see, because this is on the let me right click on this. Let me go to design view. There we go. Because the foreign key goes on the many side of your relationship. So since one customer can have many orders, and then it's going to be number, go, and long integer. All right, I'm going to save this for a second because I want to show you something else. Oh, what happened to my mouse? There we go. All right. Come on, save it. There we go. So you notice how in my customers table, if you remember, the customer ID was auto number, not number. Well, I don't want to set it to auto number in my orders table because remember, auto number gives you a unique number and it only uses that number once. What I do want to do is I do want to use the same data type and the same field size to make this relationship. Okay? Because if I made it like text or something like that, it wouldn't be the same data type, so the database engine could not relate these two fields. Because if it's text, I might have ABC. Well, auto number in my customers table is not going to ever let me do ABC. It's going to let me just do numbers, integers, long integers, so you get those 2 billion something, limit. All right, so I'm going to save that real quick. Then what I'm going to do, now that I have my foreign key, is I'm going to close out of this table. And I'm going to go back to my relationships. Now what I can do, since I have my customer ID right here, does it have to be, does my foreign key have to be named the same as my primary key? No, it doesn't, but it really helps. Okay, just because you can do something doesn't mean it's a good idea. Can you put nitroglycerin in a blender? Absolutely. Is it a good idea? Absolutely not. So all I'm doing here, let me show you what I'm doing, is I'm just taking my primary key field on the one side, and I'm just going to left click, hold, and drag, to the to the foreign key on my many side. And if you mess up, if you're off by a field or something like that, you can drop the list down here, and it'll show you the other fields in your table, right? And you can make your relationship from there. All right, well, that's great. And it even tells you the type of relationship you have, which is one-to-many. All right, so I'm going to click Create. There we go. And I've made a one-to-many relationship. All right, now there was a few other options that we really didn't look at that we're going to look at in a different video. So don't worry, we're going to get to it. If you ever need to edit your relationship, if you double-click on the relationship line there we go. You can see it's a one-to-many relationship. Join type. Only include rows where joined fields from both sides are equal. That's fine. You really don't use that in a relationship. You use that more in a query. Here we go. Enforce referential integrity, which means that if I have a customer that has orders, then it's not going to let me delete that customer because I have orders for that customer. In fact, I'm going to go back and check that right now. And you'll know referential integrity is being enforced because when you look at your relationships after you enable that, there we go. You have a little 1 on the primary key side, and you have the infinity symbol on the many side. Okay, so I'm going to save this here. I'm going to go back. I'm going to open up my customers table, and I'm going to open up my orders table. There we go. And we'll say my customer ID is, well, what's my customer number first of all? My customer ID is 1. You'll see you have this little expand button here. I really got to replace the batteries in my mouse. Sorry about this. No. Alright, and I can create a new order from here for this customer. Well, that's pretty cool. But my customer number is 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this order that we put in before we had the relationship, and I'm just going to put the number 1 in there. Now, you remember from the auto number field, we couldn't do this, right? Because the auto number field is controlled by the system, not by the user. But I'm going to say 1, and boom, right here. Now I'm going to go back to my customers table, and I'm going to click the plus sign here. There we go. Hey, it didn't update probably because I got to refresh it is what it is. Because I had the table open at the same time. That should do it right there. Click the refresh all button. There we go. This stuff's not as dynamic as you think it is. Sometimes you do have to refresh it, especially if you have something open. So now that order is assigned to me. The $2 order, that's paid, by the way, because I always pay my bills. That was put on April 12th, 2017. All right? And that is the basics of relationships. All right, now we're going to get a little bit more involved in database relationships. I'm going to try to not be Dr. Phil about relationships, but we're going to keep it contained to the database world. All right, so thank you for watching my video, and I hope you found it informative. Please like, share, subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.